Hello everybody and welcome to Deep Pact. In this first lesson of the Java programming series, we are going to build the strongest foundation possible. We will understand what Java is, how a Java program runs, and we will deep dive into one of the most essential concepts, variables. Let's get started. So, before we write our first line of Java code, we need a project working. I'll be using IntelliJ IDEA, but you can use whichever idea you want, like NetBeans or Eclipse. So we'll begin by clicking a new project. We will name it Lesson 1 Java Basics and create. IntelliJ creates a project structure for us. The folder src is where all our code will live. Now let's create our first Java file. So we're going to totally delete this default one, and by new Java class name is going to be main, because Java applications typically start from a special method called main. Think of it as the starting point where the program begins to the execution. So need this line prints text to the screen. So let's run it. As you see, my text is printing here in the console. So, before introducing variables, let's answer a simple question. What is a program? A program is a set of instructions that the computer follows step by step. But computers need data to work with: numbers, words, choices, results, and the data must be stored somewhere. This is where variables come in. So in general, a variable is a container in memory. It has a type, what kind of data it holds, a name, how we refer to it, a value, the data inside the container. So for example, a number like 5 or a piece of text like debugged. Here int age equals 25. Int is the type, age is the name, and 25 is the value. Let's write some more variables and explain them. Java includes several basic or primitive data types: int for whole numbers, double for decimal numbers, char for single characters, boolean, which is true or false. These four are the essential ones every beginner starts with, including also string, which holds text values. Let's now print all these values. So, as you see in the console, 25 for aids, 1.78 for double, A for grade, and true for its student. As we mentioned, although not a primitive type, there is a type we use constantly, string. It stores text. So, for example, if I add here name, you will see here Paul, and you will see a small gap. This is because I added also accidentally a space here. Strings always use the double quotes. Single quotes are only for characters. So, let's underline some of the most important variable naming rules. Number one, must start with a letter or underscore. Number two, cannot start with a number. Number three, no spaces. Number four, use camel case, like my variable name. Naming variables correctly is key to writing clean code. Java won't complain if you name your variable X, but people reading your code will. So let's add an integer score equals 10 system.out.println score. And now let's change the value. And then let's run it. A variable can change during the program. When we assign a new value, the old one is replaced in the memory. You can see it clearly. First time is 10, but when we assign a new value to this existing variable, then the printed value is the new one. Sometimes you want a value that never changes, like p for example, or a tax rate. For this, we use the keyword final. So for example, final double pi equals 3.14159 pi. This is our final value. We write constants in uppercase by convention. So if I try to change this number, you will see we got an error. We cannot assign a value to the final variable pi. If I remove final, then there is no problem. Now let's combine variables to make a small profile generator. So username, age plus user age, finally weight plus user weight plus kilograms. Let's run it. In, as you see, we have profile, name Maria, age 30, and weight 62.5 kilograms. In later lessons, we will make this dynamic, reading data from keyboard. From now on, we're just learning how to store and use values. So, let me show you some common mistakes. This is wrong. What we're missing here? The double quotes. Then it's a valid string value. Int price equal 9.99. Why? What's the problem here? We have a decimal value, but we are trying to store it as an integer. This is totally wrong. To be correct, we have to assign it as a double. And also, one more common mistake that happens is, as we mentioned, strings must have double quotes out of the text. Single quotes are only and only for character values, and there is a need only for one character in order to be correct. These mistakes are extremely common, so don't worry, everyone does them. So, in this lesson, we learn how a Java project starts, what the main method is, what variables are, what are the primitive types like int, double, char, and boolean, what are the strings, how to name variables, how to update them, and how to create constants. This foundation is essential. Everything you will do in Java builds on this. So, in lesson 2, we are going to explore operators in Java, how we perform calculations, comparisons, and logical operations using the variables we created today. This is where the language starts to feel powerful. So, thank you and see you next time.